For decades, Bettinardi has been making some of the finest milled putters in the world. Putters that look like they should actually be in jewelry stores rather than on putting greens. But now, with the release of the Antidote series of putters, Bettinardi is jumping on one of the hottest trends in golf, zero torque. There are actually two Antidote putters, the SB1 blade as well as the SB2 mallet. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about them. So zero torque putters have really been the rage of the golf equipment world for the second half of 2024 because of what zero torque promises. Essentially, what the Antidote putters are designed to do is help to keep the putter face square to the path of your putting stroke throughout the entirety of your swing, so that regardless of whether you're making a straight back, straight through stroke, or you're somebody who has a slight arc or a pretty significant arc to your putting stroke, the putter's face wants to stay square to that arc because of the way that it's balanced. It's not going to stay square to your target line. I think that's a big misconception that a lot of people have, is that they think that this is going to keep it square to your target line the whole time. That's not really the case. Because of the way this putter is balanced and because of the way that it is set up, it wants to keep the face square to your path. And that is really the most important thing. If you can bring your putter face back to the ball, square to your path, square to the target line at that moment, you're going to get putts rolling on your intended target line a lot more often. And that's going to give you a chance to hole more putts. One of the keys to getting the weighting and the balance just right in the Antidote putters is that Bettinardi designed them not only to be center shafted, but you'll notice that the shaft goes into the heads of the putters behind the hitting area. So this has what's referred to as onset. Now, offset is something that a lot more people are familiar with. That's where the hosel mechanism and the neck come in front of the hitting area, then go back and then drop straight down. In this case, the hitting area is in front of the section where the shaft enters into the club head. It makes it really easy to see the ball in the addressed position, but it does give a little bit of a different look. It does also create a very slight forward press. So your hands are naturally going to be pushed just a little bit forward. The shaft itself tips a little bit towards your target side when you're in the addressed position. It's not as pronounced a forward press as I've seen in some zero torque putters, but it is something you're going to notice. Now, even the SB1 blade is going to have that center shafted look, but because the blade is obviously going to be so much shorter than the SB2 mallet, the hosel and the neck goes directly into the top line. The top line is significantly thicker than just about every other Bettinardi blade style putter that I've seen. Usually there's an extended back flange in Bettinardi's to get sort of the bigger look and the higher MOI. In this case, this center shafted model, it goes directly into the top line. Like several other Bettinardi putters that have been released over the last few seasons, there's also a grooved milled center section here in the hitting area, and that is designed to help you get the ball rolling a little bit easier on the greens. So from a construction standpoint, all of the parts of the putters that you see here in silver are going to be milled 303 stainless steel. This is right out of the Bettinardi playbook. This is a material that Bettinardi has been using for a long time. They are really excellent at milling stainless steel. Now, to save weight and to make sure that the balance is going to be just right, the blue areas right here are going to be 6061 military grade aluminum, an extremely light material. So you're able to get the shape that Bettinardi is looking for, but you're able to redistribute the mass. Designers were able to push a lot of the weight into the areas where they needed to get it in order to get sort of that famous, if you will, zero torque toe up balance. Now, it's really easy to see that aluminum in this mallet putter here, but there is also aluminum that's been added into the blade putter. You can see this back section here has actually been hogged out, and that's an aluminum insert that's been put into the back of the putter itself. Again, to take weight out of this center area here and to concentrate mass in other areas, specifically in the blade, in the heel, and the toe. So obviously Bettinardi made both the Antidote SB1 blade as well as the SB2 mallet available to me to try, and I had a chance to go out into the putting green and give them a shot, and here are my thoughts. The first thing I noticed with the SB2 mallet, which is probably the putter that I prefer of the two putters, is how easy it is to align. There is this really good double alignment line system up here on the top, as well as a single alignment line that's right up here on the top line itself. Setting the putter down behind the golf ball and getting it aimed towards my target line, I found was really easy, so I thought that was good. I also like the fact that there is this sort of little pointed section back in here. Everything got my eyes trained on the golf ball, and because there is this onset, it's really easy to see the golf ball and to see the line that I'm trying to establish in the addressed position. I found that the putter swung really nicely. A lot of the times when you get into these mallet putters that have zero torque, it feels like, to me, the putter head goes back and forth almost as if it's on rails. To me, it's like railroad tracks. It just wants to stay on line. If I don't do anything to manipulate it with my hands or my wrists, I found that the putter just simply flowed through. The ball ended up getting in the way, and I got pretty good results. The face is extremely soft. Now, this is that 303 stainless steel that Bettinardi is famous for, and the company is really known for having an especially soft feel. A lot of us elite golfers, people who've used Bettinardis in the past, really do it because they like the feel, they like the sound. You're gonna get that with the Antidote putter. If you're somebody who's played a Bettinardi before, you're seeing and hearing a lot about this zero torque trend, this would be the type of putter you'd want to try out because of the feel that you've had for years and years using your old Bettinardi. It's in the Antidote series of putters. When I was using the SB1 blade style putter, I found that for me, the putter looked extremely compact. And I think it's maybe a little bit of a trick of the eye because when you're looking at the golf ball, the heel side of the putter itself, everything from the hosel inward towards you, seems to just float away. So all your eye really sees is the golf ball in this section of the putter out in here. And it makes it for an extremely small look. It was something that was a little bit jarring to me at first. I certainly got used to it after putting for a few minutes with it, but it was something that this putter looks in the address position like it's really small behind the golf ball. I do like the fact that there is this blue alignment line on the top to go along with a blue alignment line on the back flange. So it sort of creates this T pattern. That made it a lot easier than I think it otherwise would be to align. But I found that aligning this one was a little bit more challenging. I'm not somebody who's a big fan of center shafted blade style putters. I've never used one, I've never gamed one. I've tried them out for testing and such like that. But to me, if you're gonna get into zero torque, it feels a lot more natural going zero torque with a mallet style putter like the SB2 than it does with the blade. I think a lot of people want to get to a zero torque or extremely low torque blade style putter because so many people love the idea of blade style putters. For me, I think it comes a lot more natural and the stroke feels a little bit more free when I'm using a mallet style putter. So in this case, going with the SB2. That said, when I did strike the center of the hitting area and I did put a good strike on the ball, the SB1 did feel just as good as the SB2 mallet. It's just that I was looking over and it took me a little bit longer to adjust to the blade style than it did to the mallet style. Now, I think everybody's going to want to compare the Bettinardi Antidote putters to other zero torque putters that are out there on the market today. They're coming fast and furious, and I got to tell you, in 2025, we're going to see more zero torque putters coming out. And I think it's totally natural to sort of compare one to the other. The advantage I think that Bettinardi has is the feel. I think the Bettinardi has really nailed it when it comes to the feel at impact, and that is no surprise. Bettinardi has been, as I said before, working with 303 stainless steel, milling really fine, exquisite 303 stainless steel putters for decades. From the feel standpoint, from the way that the ball comes off and how it feels and sounds, Bettinardi nails it. You know, I think that the challenge for a lot of players is going to be setting up behind a golf ball, or setting up over a golf ball, I should say, and seeing that onset and seeing the forward press and getting all that stuff in here. The Bettinardi putters, I think, are a more subtle introduction if you haven't putted with a zero torque putter than many other models that are out there. It's going to feel a lot more natural. And for that reason, I think it could be a good introduction to zero torque putting for people who haven't done it before but are curious. The other thing Bettinardi has in its favor as it tries to establish itself in the zero torque putter market is it has an established network of distribution. There are going to be pro shops and golf specialty stores around the United States that already carry Bettinardi. The company is based in Tinley Park, Illinois, which is just outside of Chicago. So you're going to see Antidote putters in a lot of these pro shops and specialty stores automatically. The other thing that Bettinardi has got, I think, in its favor is the price. These are both going to be about $430, which is going to be significantly less than some of the other zero torque putters out there. Now, trust me, $430 for a putter is definitely a lot of money. But at that price, I think a lot of people will be willing to try out a zero torque putter for the very first time, especially since it comes from a company that they know, Bettinardi, and I think that they associate with very high quality and great feel. So that's probably just about everything I think that you need to know about the Bettinardi Antidote family of putters. But if I did leave some questions in your mind, feel free to drop them in the comment area below. I'm happy to answer any questions you've got, and I do try and monitor my comment area and answer comments and questions for people. If you have put a zero torque putter in your bag, I would love to hear what your experience was getting fitted for it, which one you added to your bag, and how it's performed for you out on the greens. I'm really fascinated by this whole trend. It would also be fantastic if you would smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out quite a bit. So thanks very much for tuning in, and I'll look forward to seeing you again real soon.